This right here proves Nikola Topić is just simply built different, as he is going to be an absolute problem for the rest of the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder got an absolute steal in this guy when they took him 12th overall in the 2024 NBA draft. At first, I was skeptical, all right? He was a pass-first kind of guard who didn't really have a good shot, and I was like, oh, is this another Josh Giddey situation? Is he going to be fine, coming off the bench? Looking at everything this dude said about his injury process, how he's healed, kind of getting over playing his first basketball game in 15, 16 months or so, I have complete faith in the dude to be an instant impact on this team and help them win 70-plus games this next season. You heard me right. I am saying they are going to win 70-plus games just by adding Nikola Topić to this squad. And I'm going to be here breaking down the reasons why, kind of going over an article by the Oklahoman, which kind of details what kind of mindset and who Nikola Topić simply is. Before we get into all that, though, quick moment to recognize that around 61% of you guys are not yet subscribed to this channel, but you're coming back and watching these videos on a daily basis. If you enjoyed the content, you find yourself coming back, almost every single day to check out our videos, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel, and it's the best way to keep up to date with everything going on with the Oklahoma City Thunder, as we try to be your #1 news source for anything regarding the Thunder. With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into talking about Nikola Topić a little bit. And yes, I've been pushing a ton of propaganda for this dude the past few videos. I get that. But this is because of how high of a prospect I think he's going to end up being. He was, if he was in the 2025 NBA draft, he was still going to be one of the youngest guys in there and a lottery pick, according to some scouts. That's how good he is, and we got him 12th overall in the 2024 draft because of an ACL injury. I understand an ACL injury isn't an easy thing to come back from. However, how we've seen him play in Summer League, it has me, pretty excited to watch this dude play in the regular season, especially in preseason. But let's go ahead, take a look at this article by the Oklahoman, written by Justin Martinez. While most rookies take baby steps when they reach the league, Topić took his on crutches, but it took getting injured for him to realize how strong he really was. And after a lengthy recovery process and a warm-up run in NBA Summer League, he's ready to hit his stride with OKC this upcoming season. I didn't play a basketball game for a very long time, and that was really hard, Topić said, but as you go through that process, you learn something about yourself that you didn't know you had. I took pauses from it and learned from it. And this kind of goes in to the same aspect Chet Holmgren had when he was injured the year he got drafted. All right, he got injured in a pro-am in Summer League. He looked really solid. Boom, got injured, had to miss the entire year. Kind of set the Thunder back a little bit, but it also, propelled some unprecedented things like the rise of Jalen Williams, J-Dub. I don't know if J-Dub would have had this kind of rise if Chet Holmgren was healthy his rookie season and playing as the second option alongside Shai. Maybe it would have pushed Josh Giddey out a little bit sooner. Who knows? Maybe it would have pushed Jalen Williams out. It's kind of a blessing in disguise when you look at that injury, because without Chet getting injured, Jalen Williams might not rise up to be the kind of star player he is now. So, like I said, blessing in disguise. But Nikola Topić, it might be the same way for him. This injury might be the best thing for him because it gives him a whole year to get acclimated to the NBA level of play, even though he's been playing professionally overseas ever since he was around 16, 15 years old. So he's already acclimated a little bit, but not quite to the NBA level. It also allows him to learn under some guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the MVP of the league, J-Dub, who was All-NBA third team, some other players, Aaron Wiggins, Alex Caruso, all these guys that play the same position as him. It gives him time to kind of learn under them and, really just excel and propel his game to the next level. Let's go to the next piece of the article here. All right, by Justin Martinez. Topić couldn't share the floor with his fellow Serbian, though. He instead had to watch this game from the end of a bench in a white Thunder hoodie and a pair of sweatpants. At the beginning, it was tough, Topić said, to just watch and not be able to help the team. It was hard, I can't lie. Fortunately for Topić, he also learned about OKC's support system. Top the list was Chet Holmgren after being selected second overall in the 2022 draft. The 7'1" big man suffered a Lisfranc injury that summer and missed his entire season. So as I said, he's kind of going through the same situation as Chet Holmgren. Wants to go out there and play. He's shown already before that he can ball out. He just had to miss his rookie season due to an injury. So they're very similar situations, not the exact same. Chet Holmgren was supposed to be this guy that would be the immediate second option behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and maybe even try to push for that #1 option spot. But Nikola Topić, he's in a tricky situation because he's not expected to come in and be a starter. I say tricky situation. Better situation is, the better term for it. he's in a situation where he's not expected to come in and be the starter, but he has that kind of potential and upside to his game where he could push his way into the starting lineup because of how good and athletic of a player he is. He has great playmaking. He has great awareness. He has great vision. He has great passing. His dribble is a little bit iffy at times, but it's clearly there. He's shown, as the shot developing a little bit better. The main downside is his defense. One-on-one, he's not very good, but he can read passing lanes on offense very well, which translates to defense. He can read, opponents' passing lanes and just go in there and intercept a ball while, the opposing team's guards try to pass it down low or pass it to the forward out on the wing. He does a very good job at that. He just needs to get a little bit better at one-on-one situations because isolation, defensive situations for him, he's not the greatest defender in the world. We saw that in Summer League too. Let's go and get into the article some more here. But Holmgren played all 92 games, including the playoffs, the following season, and finished second in Rookie of the Year voting. He was quick to give Topić advice, and so was everyone else on the Thunder. Holmgren just told me to be patient, that my time would come, and that I have to take it, Topić said. But everybody else, we talked on a daily basis. They gave advice, obviously. It really helps a lot that you have young teammates who can understand you. That's really amazing. I think that's kind of something that separates this team apart from a lot of other players in this situation, is they have young teammates that went through these same kinds of things that Topić is going through. Chet Holmgren is a great example of that. That's been said in this article, and I've been saying in this video the whole time. Let's take a look at the final piece of the article here. I feel more confident, Topić said. Going into a game, sleeping before a game, and just everything about it, I feel way more confident. Topić got back on track during Summer League, but he's now tasked with jumping onto a moving train known as the reigning champion Thunder. I'll try my best to be the best version of myself, Topić said. I'll give my 150% for every ball, every possession, and just do my best to win. This is a great quote to see from a rookie right there who's trying to make him names for himself and be a key player for the Thunder for years because he does have this insane upside. I've said it before in videos already. His draft day comparisons were Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was his ceiling. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had the same struggles coming to the league. He wasn't a great shooter, and he wasn't a great one-on-one defender. But he's turned into the MVP of the league. I'm not saying Nikola Topić is going to turn into a future MVP. I'm just saying if that's his track, it's going to be impressive to see a starting lineup in the future of Shai, Topić, Dub, and Chet as those four guys. If Topić progresses how he's supposed to, and he'd also be on a cheap deal since he missed that first year and won't be a starter a lot of the time, his next 2-3 seasons with the Thunder, he'd be on a cheap deal. A starting five with just those four guys as well is really solid, and then maybe even a Dort if he stays along for the ride, if he's able to be kept. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, Thomas Sorber, if he develops into this player that we are, majority of us are expecting him to turn into. I know some of you guys believe Isaiah Hartenstein's still going to be on the team. I don't see a world where that's happening, but if somehow he is, Isaiah Hartenstein in that starting lineup, I'm just saying, if this is Nikola Topic's upside, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all right, that's his draft day comparison. That's his ceiling. If he turns into that, you have 2 MVP level players on your team. You have 4 All-NBA level players on your team with Shai, Topić, Chet, and Dub. No one's beating that squad right there because then you also have young role players to back him up in AJ Mitchell, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Jay Will, Thomas Sorber. Like I said, if he's not in the starting lineup already, it's just impressive how deep this team is getting, and Nikola Topić is just adding on to that. We saw it in Summer League at some of his stats, and I still have stats from the last video I did about Nikola Topić on here as well. Like this right here. He averaged the most assists per game in the NBA 2K26 Summer League. The most at 7.3. Tied first, of course. But coming off an injury, that's impressive. That's impressive to do. You're coming off an injury and you're averaging the most assists in Summer League. Going into some more. His first game in Vegas, it was an absolute, light show from him. 18 points, 16 assists, 6 assists. I can't read. 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and a plus 17 in the plus minus right there. He dropped 10 points in the fourth quarter. He's an absolute phenomenal player. He is. He is going to be a great role player for this team. I don't think he's ever going to be, true, he is the face of the team, as it's always going to be one of Shai, Dub, or Chet, depending on what happens in the future. Maybe Shai leaves after his last contract. God forbid that happens, but maybe that's a reality. Maybe Dub leaves. Maybe Chet leaves. You never know. But I have a feeling he's never, Topić is never going to be the face of this team, but he's going to be fringe all-star appearances. He is. He's always going to be fringe all-star appearances because of the upside he brings. Also, I brought this up in the last video too. Look at the stat line he had as a 17-year-old. 17 years old. He had 49 points in a professional basketball game and went 3 of 17 from 3. 3 of 17 with 12 assists. This is just absurd to look at right here. This kid is special. He is. This injury was a blessing for him in disguise, and he kind of realizes it as he got to learn under Chet Holmgren, who went under something, he did something very similar to him. He got an injury was supposed to be his rookie year, had to sit out, came back next year, was an instant impact player for the Thunder. Nikola Topić can do the same thing. He might not be a starter, but he has 6th man of the year kind of upside when you look at how he's played in Summer League. That's all I got to say for this video. Let me know what you guys are expecting for Nikola Topić next season. Do you think he's going to be a bust, or you think he's going to be one of the best players from his draft class? Let me know in the comment section below. See you guys in the next one.